It was our dream becoming reality.
Eu declaro então vocês, marido e mulher de toda a vida. Pode beijar.
The start of our family. But the end of that party led to a life of frustration. We got married, and in the beginning it was hard because we were already paying rent. We were paying rent. I was earning very little. She wasn't even earning at the time. And we were really living a small life.
You make expectations, that's okay. I will live by rent. But when we went to live by rent was two other families.
Yeah, I was working, but the salary that I was earning was extremely small. I earned 600 reais. So to sustain myself and her, then it was really hard. And she spoke about the house where we were living. When it would rain, we would be scared because if it would be flooded outside, it would be flooded inside.
Was no money. Was a check from somebody other from somebody else. We used to buy food with a predated check. My parents saw the situation we were living by. We had no condition to pay rent. We had no money to survive. My parents called me, huh? Come to live here. But not like come to live here on the backyard. Come to live here inside of the house. So we went to live inside my bedroom when I used to be a
And I
single.
remember that as I was sitting at the table, I started to cry. And we were already inside the church. We were members of the church. We would watch the testimonies of others, but our life wasn't a testimony.
That time, when came close to the campaign of Israel, I used to say, oh my God, and now? But a detail, he sacrificed. But I stayed with my salary because I had to have a backup plan. In my head, I needed to have a backup plan. Was a delay in debt? Will be even a bigger delay. I didn't see the campaign of Israel as a will sacrifice and God will make a miracle in my life. God will make a miracle, but He will make on His way, and I will do on my way, and God does on His, and Reginaldo on His way, and life goes on. And that not when I stopped him, that he would say, I will give this, and I said, no, Reginaldo, not this. You cannot give that. Was getting worse because came humiliation from everywhere because you need somebody and then you need somebody else because my father was a time was no limit to make a loan, so I needed to look for other people to help us. Was not payment of credit cards, my name was in debt, no credit cards payment, and him not. Why? Because the payment we paid, the debt, there was in the name of other people.
A colleague from work said, look, I know a guy, a man that can help you. And I said, okay, it's time. I went to the gentleman's house. I knocked at the door and I said that I needed money. He said, look, I can borrow it to you. But can you pay it? I said, yeah, I can pay per month with fees. And the next month I needed more money. So I went to him again. And on the third time I called him and he said, look, I'm not going to borrow you any more money. You have no condition to pay me back. I left there humiliated. And that man didn't like Christians. There was even a sign on his door saying, if you are a Christian, don't knock at my door. But I was knocking.
And I started to analyze myself. My God, so many years in the church, and I don't trust you, Lord, because I can't sacrifice. But and then came a campaign of Israel in December, and we took part. And he said, "Are you on faith?" Because he used to charge me, "Are you on faith?" I said, "Yes, Reginald, I'm in faith, and let's go because now our life will change. If I'm not converted, all these years I have to get converted because if I don't trust in the Lord, why am I in church?" I woke up myself. I saw I was in need of a change. Not financially, because would come and I said, no, Reginald, what you have to do, you will do because God will change our life now.
I took the envelope of the sacrifice and I was praying to God because I've always prayed. I sold everything. I said to God, look, I'm in a situation that only you can help. Banks, everyone was after me, owing 70,000 reais. I had no idea how to pay. I was going through humiliation. I asked God, give me wisdom, because I was not afraid to sacrifice, but my fear was to have my own business. And that was, beating inside of me. I knew, but I believed that God is going to be with me.
God has freed me. He took out the fear. He took everything. And wasn't December,
Yes,
right?
December.
We passed December on a battle with everything. And I told him, what are you waiting to open your own business? And he looked me because somebody that was always very fearful. I was always afraid. And he said, open. How, Fernanda? I said, I have no idea, Reginaldo. You work with tools for over 20 years. His ex bosses used to travel to go outside the country and us with a very little life. And I said, Reginaldo, wake up.
Then I had a dog, but the dog died, and the dog kennel was still there, but it was a nice one. Even though it was small. So I took it. I started doing some works on it. Where the gate was, I took it away, and I said, "Here's where I'm gonna get my business." And I went to the accountant because I didn't know anything. I was only working for 26 years to others, making them rich. Traveling to bosses, going to Israel, going to United States. I was only there working for others. I had the old laptop. I took it and I started there the business. And when it was raining, it would rain there inside. It was a war, but I was in faith working. I remember as if it was today, I went to the person that I was owing, and it was wonderful. I came to him and I said, look, I came to pay my debt. He said, really? I said, yes, really. Truly, I got to know God's wonders. We paid off all the debts, and God wanted to give us greater things. We bought the first car for the business, and for someone who had only a meter squared of a place, 16 meters squared was great. But inside of me, there was still a revolt. I saw a transporter, I looked at the truck, and I said, I'm going to buy a truck like this, the value of 72,000 reais, a huge truck. I went to buy the truck, but where was I going to put the truck? There was no place. But God gave us a condition to buy a piece of land. And this was last year. And during the pandemic, I was able to get my own car.
We have our own house. We have our company. We conquered last year a brand new car, ours private. The company has two new cars, has one truck and another one. God gave us. And in the end of the last year, we conquered our land, that it's being built. Our store has been constructed, the first floor, and we are going to the second one. And when it was in February, he gave me a car. But the most important was a change, because wouldn't be if the Holy Spirit wouldn't have woke me up. What would be about my life, my family? How would be? To me, it's little. Sometimes I say we sacrifice, and I say we're gonna sacrifice a good amount. You will see. And he says, yes, for sure.
It's a privilege. Without sacrifice, I am nothing.
What holds me today is the trust that I learned to have in God.